Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna keep repeating this till it comes out right to where you could just listen. I might need to make like 10-minute segments. I'll probably do that tomorrow if I remember to do so. But getting back to point, I made this video because a quantum shift happened. I be feeling a lot of shit. I don't really believe in coincidences, but nobody was talking about 2017. I be in everybody comments, literally writing paragraphs, all types of comments, bro. Lives, everything. Cause I know somebody's watching. Maybe not everybody read what I said, but somebody did. Feel me? And I started picking up on shit. But either way it goes, it's not about being first. It's just the fact when you're part of a nervous system that's outside of you, which is nature, and your consciousness is awakening to something, you need to speak about it because it awakens the consciousness outside. So when it comes to connectivities, it connects as a collective. So getting back to point, it's a quantum shift. Everybody knows that took place, but it really happened 2017. Now you're seeing certain videos that line up to this time that I've been talking about. If you heard me talk about me being able to see through a wall or some shit, that's where that shit came from. Feel me? It was around that time in 2017, but it was tied to a laser beam, okay? It was a laser beam. I remember being very sleepy that day and sleeping all day, but I a laser beam came in the room and interrupted me. And for some reason, I was thinking someone was after me. But then I thought about it. I was smoking, but the weed was straight. I was I started thinking about. I was like, I'm not in no beef with nobody, so nobody don't come fuck with me. I don't even be doing shit, and nobody in this house they be chilling. So I was like, I'm about to just go to sleep. Cause at that time I was walking long distances and stuff. That's when I had dreads. So, boom. I covered my face with a blanket in darkness. All the lights was off. There wasn't no TV in the living room or the family room, however you want to call it. It was in an apartment in the third story, in the back of the apartments. So when I thought somebody was trying to mess with me, it was because it was a shortcut we used to take that went to the other apartments. So, because say if you wanted to walk, it's either you're going to take that shortcut to get to the other apartments, and then the store is right there, or you would have to walk out the neighborhood and then walk down the main road while the cars staring at you and shit. So I thought somebody was messing with me. So anyways, put the blanket over my head, turn all the lights off, close the blinds. Still saw the laser beam come through. So boom. I remember hearing and feeling vibrations with somebody running up the stairs. So when someone's running up the stairs, you can kind of feel a shake. So whole time it was my homie's girlfriend, but I didn't know that. I just remember I got scared and mad, but I didn't move out the couch that I was laying on. It was like a little love seat. I didn't move out that side, out that seat. Still have my the blanket over my head, like covered like this. Had a blanket over my head like this. For me. And I'm laying down. So when I got the blanket over my head, somehow my vision changed to X-ray vision. And I used to say thermal vision when I end up telling people, but I'd be like, bro, I know you're not gonna believe me, because when she got to the door and she put the key inside of the door, I could see the key inside of the door, through the blanket, through darkness, through the front closet, through the door, key inside the door, and then she's on the other side of the door, and I see all this shit. But it's like X-ray vision, or like, not really X-ray vision, it was more like heat sensor, you feel me? But I had X-ray type shit, but it was like thermal. Like it was green background, and she was like that type shit. So like, so boom. So when she came in, turned the light on, my face was in shock. And she was like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I was like, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. So she was like, don't even tell me. And just went in the room. Then I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? So boom. That's what kind of gravitated to me when niggas was talking about DNA activation. You feel me? That shit's real. And me learning about the sun and all this extra shit is how I figured out it actually came from an X-flare dealing with this shit. So when you talking about people talking about CMEs can activate some shit in you, that's definitely true. Okay? So it could be for you to become a positive variant, a neutral variant, or a negative variant, which ties to the Knights Templar secrets. The Knight Templar secrets is the definition of variant, dealing with a DNA sequence. Okay? So it's dealing with a DNA sequence because we're dealing with X-rays, radiation coming from the sun, right? It's higher than a UV3, which UV3 stands for uh, a denoting energy at the third level, which is standing for delta, right? Like the tanning beds is supposed to imitate the sun. So if it was imitating the sun, that's like third dimension, because the sun deals with quantum energy. Okay? Since the sun deals with quantum energy, it deals with hertz and frequencies. And these alignments are pretty much sacred geometry aligning with the land, because it's so above, it's so below. That's why the Egyptians dealt with frequencies and sacred geometry. Okay? Because the things that I'm about to tell you right now ties to the cycle of the sun, which is actually the cycle of you. And that's why I was able to be manipulated. But when the subconscious is awakened to it, it changes reality. Okay? It changes your reality if you can grab the concept of perspective, because that deals with your conscious, your spirit. And when your spirit can grab the perspective, the soul can actually start to work with it, like sister and brother, or brother and brother, sister and sister as twins. Because the brain is a binary system that comes together and form a tri-solar system and up. Feel me? Dealing with your 12 strains. You feel me? Because it deals with 4 points. The sun is a G4. Okay? If you were a G3, you wouldn't even be able to go to the G4 state. Okay? The G4 is the rebirth of the 9. That's why it's a 4, because it's supposed to be a 12, but really it's just a 3. It's a 33 with a cycle in between. Ether energy. Okay? Connectivities, okay? So, as this say, the clock is the compass of the sun, okay? Because you have to remember, time is measurements of quantum cycles, okay? Delta B113, that meant denoting new energy cycle, okay? So by the time it got to 2020, that's 3 years after 2017, right? Because that's when it restarted, you feel me? So that's when the energy changed, for real, for real. Really 2012, but these cycles actually been repeating. It's just since the firmament been opening now, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's going back to its natural state. But they're manipulating the energy. They're manipulating the air, the fire, the water, and Kai, you, which ends up interrupting the blood, right? And the blood of you is in the input of your body, the blood of the planet, and then you have the blood of the air, because the air is blood too, and you're in its blood, and the blood of the body you walk amongst. That's what you have to understand. So that's when it ties to crown chakra, dealing with the blood and the body. Because as a nervous system, when left and right comes together, is dealing with electricity and magnetism. So you're sending out and you're receiving, okay? It's the same thing with that. My bad, I look all crazy. But it's the same thing with that and shit. You're having inputs and outputs. So say how your brain sends signals through your nervous system and all your organs and the rest of your body and your senses and all of that. Okay? Your senses also tied to outside of you. That's why you pick up on people looking at you and all types of shit. You feel energy around you. Now that the uh, paradigm is starting to break down, you're starting to see radiation around you, which too, it feels like you're seeing someone or someone is there. Whole time you are, because you're seeing energy. It's at a higher frequency. And the higher you go up, you're most likely going to start seeing that shit. Especially when you're killing parasites out of you and fasting. The thing about fasting, once your body get used to like not feeding or fiending for stuff like that, it's going to help you along this journey when shit goes left. If not, it's going to make it real bad to the point you might neurologically start turning on your people. It's the difference when you get mad for something happening compared to you getting mad just because you can't eat. Like, honestly, when I was a kid, that's why I used to get mad. When I was hungry, I used to act like a bitch. The whole time, me being not knowing what the hell was going on, just me being who I am, period, as a being, dealing with energy. Like, the things I was eating wasn't doing nothing but bringing anxiety. Then Gemini already supposed to have anxiety. So that with the food's not a good mix. And then being an athlete outside, drawing in a lot of energy, breathing a lot, all type of shit. That like mentally and physically, that don't really mix when you're supposed to be doing something different in life. So like getting back to this cycle though, this quantum cycle. Alright, so people started peeping a lot of shit. 4 years later, after 2021, this has been something I already got. It's just, it's weird because it's like I'm supposed to be on here telling somebody and nobody's on here. But I really get this shit, bro. So back to point. 4 years from 2017, 2021, there's a cycle that counts by 90 degrees because to make the aura of the circle, it deals with uh, 490-degree angles, which is where you get your north, south, east, and west of the realm, meaning how you see the land that looks like a wheel with low-key like an X in the middle. That's how that shit really looks. Because the map that we use or are taught as the world map, that map is actually used to trace the sunspots and the energy going around the globe. Feel me? That's why I had the globe, because energy creates an aura, a globe-like aura. You feel me? So, that being said, as it counts east, or you can say 3, because remember, the E and the 3 is the same. It's just a flip. So, you have the 3, then you have the 6, or south, which is sigma. Then you have the 9, west, which is, west. Also, 27. 27 stands for 9, which creates a triangle. The 9 represents the triangle also, in my eyes. It's matched up with something else, but the 9 came from trinities, right? So when it hits the 9, a 3, 6, 9, or a 9, 6, 3, or, you feel me, a 6, 3, 9, or whatever, it makes a triangle. Just like the reflex, just like your DNA. So as it goes around, say 4 years, you do like 4 times 360. Just to skip it, because 4 times 90 is 360. Once you get to 12, that's 360, and that's north. But the 12 is really a 3. Okay? Master 33 over the 6-9 cycle, which is dealing with energy, because that's all it's showing you with these zodiacs is reflections of you and the energy. Even with the Egyptian writings, it's showing you a fucking cycle, bro. These sharecrops debunk this is showing you a cycle. Symbolisms of lights, my nigga, coming together. Okay? It's a reflection of you because you actually operate the same way. So when you're trying to get back to self, you have to operate in that way. You feel me? And that way is going to be known to your intuition. Know thyself, know thy enemy, know thy energy. You feel me? But getting back to it. So 4 years after 2017. Okay? So counting up the scale is a Hertz scale. Is what the sun is showing you. But you have to remember, the scale is still a measurement of the energy. Okay? The numbers 1 through 9, measurements of energy, but they're still united. They're not divided. A 1 through 6, a 6 wouldn't be a 6 without the 1. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? There's no division. Same with the zodiacs, there's no divisions. Because the 12 zodiacs is still representing a 3, a trinity. And if it represents a 4, it represents the energy that was created from that, which is your Zen, your connection to above and below, your Zen. That's why they have a Zeno, which is like the Kato from the underworld. Okay? This is called Xenobot. It's with an X because it's dealing with your feminine energy. And the Xeno as feminine stands for um, Greek hospitality. And that's pretty much uh, tracking outsiders, or not, it's pretty much tracking chosen ones that come in and tell stories like this and shit. Right? Dealing with the AI, how they want to track us with AI, GPS. Now they want to get it in you. That's dealing with the Xenobot. Okay? When you look at it as a masculine point, because you're dealing with English, but it goes back to Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, and then even to Phoenician. There go your 4 again. So like, you committed. So it's like, Zeno is the masculine version, which means gift to Zeus. So when you look up the word Cato, dealing with the Lycan race or underworld, it has the same definition, being as a gift, which matches definition of variant, which is kind of ironic and weird. So getting back to the shifts talk. So when we got to the 4th year, 2021, that brought us on a Hertz scale, because the Hertz matches the years. Because you have to remember, time is a measurement of quantum energy. So a year is actually a measurement of energy, just to keep track of the energy, you feel me, with the stars above and what's going on with the lands below. Because when you're keeping track of it, does mean you're dealing with a loop. You're trying to keep track of a cycle so they can manipulate along them times with the alignments to harness energy. Okay? So when the sunspots kept going around the 360, it started denoting a higher energy from itself. So when the 1 met the 2, it became a 3. That made a trinity. And then the 1, 2, 3 started all over again. And that's where you get your 4, 5, 6. Right? On a physical state, 2023, we're at 5D. But the thing is, on a physical state, is 5D. Consciously, we're dealing with the 6D cycle. And as it goes through the year, it settles on a physical state. So by the time it gets to 2024, which is 4 years after 2017, on 2024 is actually going to start the 7D cycle. But the thing that I always been saying, when 6D settles, it opens 7, 8, 9. And opens 3, 5, 6 because it's a 4, 5, 6 thing, just like CeeLo. And when that C note hits at a low at a reverse, much like what XXX was trying to say, and just like what Rashad Jamal was trying to say, and just like a homework assignment I gave y'all to do if you were listening to the timeline that I give you, because every year is a new timeline. But that's why people were waking up to the past, because the energy, the 369, the study of that was the study of your DNA to see how it operates. So when it's coming to these hurts that's hitting your body, if you look at my symbol, I have the upside down triangle. That's a symbolism of denoting energy coming from above because it's pointing down. And the pyramid that's pointing up is denoting energy from the ground up. And you're the X in the middle in between this cycle, not knowing that you control this energy. That's how they're manipulating it, because your consciousness haven't awakened to it. So when it awakens to it, that low key shuts down their reality of being on this realm like a dream. That ass. Just like when you're asleep or you go to rest and you have a dream and leave your body from hearing shit, it's imperative for you not to know yourself. So while you're traveling and shit, you're learning and doing what you need to do type shit to know yourself. So it's the same thing here. It's just like, it's the same thing here. You have to move that way. Because that's the only way we get rid of the enemy. They can't deal with the heart frequency. When the heart knows itself, if anything, all they try to do is turn you against yourself and then try to get you to sign over. They just want jurisdiction over you because that's like having ownership. So shit about your masters, getting your masters in music and the industry, having ownership of your name and your business. It's the same thing, literally. It's really a reflection because they have to show you in all types of ways. So it's really a reflection of how, what we deal with. But a lot of them in the industry deal with the label more. And they're pretty much like their slave owner. It's tied to the feds and everything. So in the industry, they get feds, period. But getting back to point. So say there was a talk about when 1,440 hertz comes, that deals with something in the brain, because it's like 144 in the brain. I can't remember the exact name right now. So that actually did happen, and it denoted the 5D energy once it settled. You feel me? As it was settling, the, the, the atoms in the sky was actually starting to get a charge, a V2 charge. That's how it was really denoting too fast. And the blue beam most likely was used to manipulate it. And if they were doing anything to heat anything up, they're trying to make it sustainable to their defense, because the clouds and shit, yeah, they come down and get people sick and all types of stuff, and got all types of stuff in it. But the stuff that goes up actually creates a magnetic field for them. But the thing is, they can't stop it, so they're trying all types of shit pretty much where people trying to go. Because they're trying to do some little insurance type shit. And then pretty much sell it to the next oppressors. Because Niggas keep saying, yeah, Russia, yeah, China. Nigga, at the end of the day, it's the Russians. In my eyes, it's the Russians. Because the Jews ties back to the Russians or NATO and the Nazis. Just like how, the Simpsons has had some type of little episode kind of saying they was always here. It's been them the whole time. Because if you look how the map was at first from the Western and Eastern, that still ties to the Eastern Empire. And the thing about the Eastern Empire, the family from the Western Empire went over. But those empires was talking about the Europeans. It wasn't talking about the empires that were there before. You feel me? The kings and queens beforehand. It was talking about a whole takeover. So as that's being represented also with this war, and you see how the different people we've been going up against. This is why I've been saying as a little kid, if it was a World War III, it's going to tie back to Turkey, Russia, and China, and most likely India. And as I see, that's just the big six or nine or the Eye of Horus dealing with the empire takeover. Because as that was going on, they was cloning motherfuckers, doing eugenics on people because that's how they were studying. We gave them the alpha beta system, so they started studying our genetics. The alpha beta system is the 369 cycle, the 3693, the timeline, the manipulation. Right? And it's a loop. Every 9 years, you can go 9 years back and you're going to find significant moments. Okay. That being said, we're in the we're in 60 cycle and it's settling, meaning as the energy is rising, our DNA is dealing with the frequency it's set on. So if we were time traveling, dealing with quantum physics or quantum loops, we have to be set to a frequency. If you look at all the movies, they were setting a frequency, right? Well, your body can be set to a frequency dealing with the sun or just nature, period. Because as the elements in your body start working together, it's pretty much saying a cycle is working together in your body. So under the sun, you can really amp your frequency and just consciously knowing. But that's where you get your futuristic type shit, which really isn't. We're just going back in the future. That's all we've been doing. We've been going back to the future. So the peep was futuristically happen, you have to go back. You feel me? So as this cycle has been going on and this hurt scale has been rising, our DNA is going back to the future. So pretty much pretty much who survives makes it to the end. And you see what the fuck really happened. Right now, I'm telling you what really happened. We've been here before. We've been here this whole fucking time. And we're dead ass just going through loops without fucking knowing. Okay? We've been here. It's just, stop all the foo-foo shit. We've been here before. And we've been manipulated as an indigenous race on this land. Even all these other races. Because some of them they know in their genetics, but they don't know where the fuck they came from. Okay? And it's getting bad because people are starting to realize where people came from and what's going on. Because why? Our DNA is matching two timelines dealing with one, or 90 or 9, figure, all the way to 3,693. I mean, yeah, 93. But actually, it goes higher than that. You feel me? That's how I know it's a fourth state. Because at the repeat of the 12, you're in the 4,000 hertz. But the thing about the 6D scale, we're in the timeline our DNA is interacting with, the 1800s, the 1980s. So that's, that's like 90 years. But 90 is really an angstrom, meaning it ties back to numerology. They just drag a zero over, put the decimal there. So when you put numerology with it, it just comes right back to 9. So 99, 909. Feel me? It's just at a higher interval, a higher self. Okay? It's like how we're in a 6, but we're dealing with the V2 charge, pretty much a G2 state, which is the binaries coming together. But now it's like, say those two binaries made one, and then another binary made another. We're pretty much like 6 stars plus 1 shining on you type shit. 60 nodal energies, or like 6 zodiacs, which is like 3 twins. And when 3 twins come together, that makes 3 lights because of 3 binaries. Okay? Twin flames. Twin flames come together, it creates a new light. Okay? So that's a trinity, right? So one trinity deals with 3. When you get to a 6, that's 2 trinities coming together. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6D. 6 years later, as the sun went around the 360 6 times, it went up to a higher energy. So now we're in the 6. So if you were counting up to the 7D, it would be the year 1890. That would be 90 degrees east, or 3. Okay? It would be 3 on the clock, 90 degrees on the compass, and east for the direction that it proceeds to. Then when you get to south, or to the 6, you get, which is also 180, but when you get to that year is the hertz. So that puts you in the 1900s or 1980s. But from that 1980s to the west, where is the west? The Americas. And the Pacific dealing with Cali on their world map. But it's really closer to China. Like China is dealing with 7D already. We're dealing with 6D. That's why you're seeing a lot of shit open in the sky in China like that. Boom. Because they're already dealing with it. So I said it's a 4, 5, 6 thing. Alright, so boom. So west, which is dealing with where we at right now, dealing with the 9 of the 6. So really it's a 693 energy. Okay? It's a 693 energy which deals with a lot of magnetism. That's why you get a lot of magnetism storms, because the X flare is about to start popping off really high, especially in October, for sure. Because the carbon beast is dealing with the energy, which is a representation of what they say in the Bible from my theories. The first gate that I heard was the 8-8 portal. And when I heard the story about the 8-8 portals, it matched up to Halloween in my eyes from me learning what Halloween was dealing with in Mexico. So that's what I thought when I first heard it, right? And that opens July 27th. So as time of my awakening's been going on, I've been knowing thyself, and by knowing thyself, I started peeping my energy and why certain things will always happen around the same time, around the same year. I mean, every year. To a point, it seemed like a fucking loop, and it was out of my control. Because it'd be like, alright, I'm gonna do better next time. But a lot of times, wasn't even me. It just was like I had something going against me that I had to defeat. So it was like, and that came from me not peeping the same shit. So when it happened, it was getting me down, not rising me up. And mentally and physically, that's not healthy. Because why? That deals with sales. That's why when you're mentally not in the heart space, you're killing cells, and when you're physically not in the heart space, you're killing cells also. Like being in fear shuts down your immune system, so it can't really operate. That's why you see niggas in the movies, they always fall. Because when you get scared, running like that and shit, you get a cramp in your leg, dealing with your sarco muscles that's like in the back of your knee, which is also a lot dealing with the pain that everybody getting, dealing with sarcolactic acid. You need to fast and get that shit up out of you, because it's a built up, which is clogging your vessels. You're trying to get a flow. The energy is trying to help you get a flow, but you're not working with it. You're working against it, and that's gonna make you feel like shit, or even have you curled up somewhere because your muscles is contraction. You think I'm just talking, making shit up, but you seeing this shit going on all around the world. So that's why I'm using my energy to put it out for awareness, because it's a collective consciousness right now. You feel me? This is just some whole shit that you need to know so you can take control of your energy back and call back on it. Call that shit back. Most of them been giving it out too much, and they're manipulating all that shit. Because it's really like some witchcraft type shit going on. But you having dominion over these lands ties to a physical, mental, and spiritual thing. Meaning, you are the cycle and you control the cycle. Once you find yourself once again, just like Neo. Especially the fourth movie shows what's going on right now. Why you think it's an awakening? Because nigga, we been here before. This is a dream we collectively together in. And we got a job to do. We got motherfucking clones. Clones been manipulating us this whole time. Dead ass clones, bro. That's what's really about to get annihilated. Then they trying to chip everybody up because a lot of people about to be gone. So now they trying to make you the new clone. So like these entities can't really do nothing out of 5D once 6D settle, but at the same time they got other people who sign a contract or they're trying to sign a UN contract, which is tied down to aliens once again. That all that contract shit is tying back to aliens once again. They're making contracts with them and try to get motherfuckers to comply. Then they freeze their ass when they not so they can comply and move in and make camps and shit. They're doing that shit here. This whole time is a time to see. You've been going in the past in your dreams. You've been listening to other people who's getting you hip. Because it's a collective consciousness, so you can get to see what the fuck you need to do. But a lot of times, it's still going to be a karmic loop or karma you have to deal with because you didn't listen to yourself, which is okay. Because at this time, you should know you the one. You feel me? You should know you the one at the time. And that just says you need to start believing in yourself and go, what they say is going with the spirit. I just say go with your soul. Because your soul knows what you call the unknown, blindly walking. But you in a knowing because we've been here before and you start seeing your memory. Just like deja vu moments, that's you seeing your memory. You be having these, you have many, you be doing hella shit just like a whole day here. That's how you be in a dream, doing different shit. Unless you on some ascending chakra shit, that's different. When you're ascending and like going to higher chakras that's above your crown, that's when it's a different experience than you getting warning dreams and shit like that. But it still ties to a timeline when you are getting warning dreams, because that's actually that ties to your intuition. You get intuition from what you may say you haven't seen, but you have seen it. You just don't remember because your body is filthy. So it's fucking with your memory, your DNA, your memory DNA. It's not that your DNA is junky. I mean, that is fucked up. It just got junk all in it. And that's what makes you feel old, even at a young age. Because it's too much junk in your DNA. Like, you might poop, you're not getting all that shit out of you. You feel me? That's why you need to eat what your DNA matches so it's not getting junk up. Now your memories start coming back. And the thing about when you're remembering something in the spiritual realm, the memory dealing with your brain brings it to the physical. So say if you saw your heavenly body in another realm, your brain will start picking up on memory of how to do that here. Cause nigga, you been here many times. So it's like when these hertz is going to these years, say like the year 1444 or some shit. that's also tying to a frequency in your body. Okay? So when 5D hit, that was 2021, but also 2022. It was settled on the planet 2022. The cycle of 5D was happening in the air 2021. Okay? So now in 2023, that's happening. So people are remembering time passes dealing with uh what happened, dealing with 2,000 years. Yeah, everybody been seeing that and realizing it really didn't even happen that long ago. It pretty much happened 400 years ago. That's why I say it's an angstrom. They just add a zero or subtract a zero, but in numerology it always comes back to 1 through 9 because there's no number greater than 1 through 9. I mean, there's no number greater than 9. It's just different measurements to keep time of a cycle that they're manipulating. And when they're manipulating a cycle, the air, the fire, the ground, and the water, that's manipulating your blood, your atoms. Okay? Trying to disconnect your sixth sense because that's how you really communicate to what you will say God. So that being said, if the sixth cycle ties to a hertz, but the hertz is also a year when it's dealing with your DNA on a time travel talk. The hertz is at 1800, the 1800s, 1890, and then on the south scale, 1980. On the west scale is dealing with 2000 hertz, above 2000 hertz, right? But if we gotta remember, time is a measurement, okay, of quantum energies. Quantum energy deals with hertz frequencies. So if we in 2023 and the 9, right? Anything going past the 9, that's like saying a 10, right? But really it's a restart of 1, 2, 3, right? Because it's trinities that's going on, okay? In the Gregorian calendar, we're in the 9th month. Universal time, we're in the 6th month. But Virgo represents the Virgin Mary giving birth, right? And they're talking about this green comet. I already been saying this shit. That's how it's some white guy making like videos I used to watch, but I never heard him say that shit till today. This is how I know. Really, a lot of shit that I'm seeing was a lot of stuff I was trying to say. That's how it could also become a distraction with your awakening too, because some people may not know where it comes from, but if it was something righteous in another sense of saying it, is pretty much saying God is telling you what to do because it's something you're supposed